Have you ever pondered what happens to the very essence of your being when your physical form ceases to exist? This question has intrigued humanity for eons. Some believe death is the ultimate end, while others envision realms beyond. But what about the vital force within you, the Kundalini energy? Does it persist, or does it too fade away? I remember a profound experience from my childhood. I was walking in the forest when I stumbled upon a snake shedding its skin. For a moment, I thought the creature had perished. It lay motionless, seemingly devoid of life. But then, ever so slowly, it began to emerge, leaving behind a perfect replica of itself. In that instant, I realized a fundamental truth. What we leave behind is not necessarily who we truly are. Death, in many ways, mirrors this process. We shed our physical body, our thoughts, our personality, much like discarding an old, worn-out garment. But what of the energy that animated us, the fire that made us truly alive? Kundalini is not some mystical force hiding within your spine, waiting to be awakened. It is the very life energy that courses through your being, making you who you are. Without it, even for a fraction of a second, you would cease to exist. You couldn't draw breath, you couldn't blink, you couldn't form a single thought. When death approaches, the physical body begins its journey of dissolution. The breath that has sustained us for a lifetime comes to a halt. The heart, which has beaten tirelessly, falls silent. But the energy body, that subtle aspect of our existence, does not vanish in an instant. Its departure is a process, one that can span hours or even days, depending on the intensity with which one has lived their life. For those who have lived unconsciously, barely scratching the surface of their potential, this energy dissipates quickly. Like smoke from a dying fire, it scatters to the winds, leaving no trace behind. But for those who have refined themselves, who have consciously worked to elevate their Kundalini, something remarkable occurs. Even after the physical form has ceased to function, this energy remains cohesive, luminous, and potent. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of not disturbing a body immediately after death. They recognize that a profound process is still unfolding. The subtle energies are finding their way, navigating the transition between worlds. Have you ever experienced a strange sensation, a sudden heaviness or shift in the atmosphere, moments before receiving news of a loved one's passing? This is not mere coincidence or an overactive imagination. What you're sensing is the departure of that subtle energy, that essence of being that transcends the physical form. So the question we should be asking is not whether Kundalini remains active after death. The real inquiry, the one that holds the power to transform our lives, is this: what are we doing with this energy while we still draw breath? If during your lifetime you never acknowledged this force, never sought to awaken it or channel it consciously, then after death, its fate becomes inconsequential. It will simply merge back into the vast ocean of existence, leaving no individual trace. But if you have touched the very core of this energy, if you have worked diligently to raise it and refine it, then death is not an ending. It becomes a gateway, a transition to something far greater. When the body falls away, the energy that has been cultivated and elevated finds itself unbound by physical limitations. For such an individual, death is not a plunge into darkness or oblivion. It is a moment of ultimate liberation, a release into boundless potential. So I implore you, don't wait for the moment of death to ponder the fate of your Kundalini. Instead, ask yourself today, in this very moment, am I truly alive to the fullest dimension of this energy? Am I harnessing its potential, allowing it to elevate every aspect of my existence? Because if you awaken to this force now, if you learn to work with it consciously, death loses its sting. It is no longer something to be feared, but simply a passage from one state of being to another. Take a moment right now. Close your eyes wherever you are. Feel the aliveness pulsing within you. That vibrant, tingling sensation, that is Kundalini. It's not some esoteric concept or a mystery to be unraveled after death. It is a living, breathing reality, a possibility that exists within you at this very moment. The ancient yogis understood this profound truth. They dedicated their lives not to speculating about what happens after death, but to fully awakening and harnessing this energy while still alive. They recognized that a life lived in harmony with Kundalini is a life of extraordinary depth, clarity, and purpose. When you begin to work with this energy consciously, remarkable transformations occur. Your perception sharpens, your intuition deepens, and you find yourself operating from a place of profound inner wisdom. The petty concerns that once consumed you begin to fall away, replaced by a sense of connection to something far vaster than yourself. This is not about achieving some superhuman state or gaining mystical powers. It's about becoming fully radiantly alive. It is about peeling away the layers of conditioning and limitation that have kept you from experiencing the true magnitude of your being. Imagine living each day with the awareness that you are not just a physical body, not just a collection of thoughts and emotions, but a conduit for this incredible life force. How would that change the way you move through the world? How would it alter your relationships, your work, your very sense of purpose? The beauty of working with Kundalini is that it doesn't require you to abandon your life and retreat to a mountaintop. This energy can be awakened and cultivated in the midst of your everyday existence. Every breath you take, every action you perform, can become an opportunity to connect more deeply with this force. Start small. Begin each day with a moment of conscious awareness. Feel the energy flowing through your body. As you go about your tasks, maintain a thread of connection to this inner aliveness. Notice how it influences your interactions, your decision-making, your overall state of being. As you become more attuned to this energy, you may find yourself naturally drawn to practices that support its awakening and ascension. Yoga, meditation, breathwork, these are not just exercises for the body and mind. They are tools for aligning yourself more fully with the Kundalini force. Remember, this is not a race or a competition. The journey of awakening Kundalini is deeply personal and unique to each individual. Some may experience dramatic shifts, while for others, the process is more subtle and gradual. What matters is your commitment to remaining conscious and open to this energy. As you progress on this path, you may find that your fear of death begins to diminish, not because you've convinced yourself of some comforting afterlife scenario, but because you've touched something within yourself that feels eternal. You've glimpsed a dimension of existence that transcends the physical form. This is the true gift of working with Kundalini. It's not about guaranteeing some specific outcome after death. It's about living so fully, so consciously, that death becomes just another transition, a doorway to be walked through with awareness and grace. So I invite you to shift your focus from what happens to Kundalini after death to how you can fully embody this energy right now in this precious moment of life. Let every breath be an affirmation of your connection to this vital force. Let every action be infused with its wisdom and power. For when you live in this way, death loses its power to terrify. It becomes simply another step on an infinite journey of consciousness. And whether Kundalini remains active after death becomes far less important than how vibrantly and purposefully you allowed it to flow through you in life. Embrace this energy, cultivate it, allow it to transform you. For in doing so, you not only enrich your own existence, but contribute to the elevation of consciousness for all beings. This is the true potential of Kundalini, not as a post-death curiosity, but as a living, breathing reality that can illuminate every moment of your precious human journey.